like, at the same time, I had enough confidence in myself, my skills, and the community in which I lived to, like, catch me when I made that leap, and it worked out okay.
So we have superhero story identifying.
I wasn't a superhero. I was
No,
saying
I
that,
mean like
like,
the story that you're set up that you find yourself in. That's how we see the lens. So it's
well,
like you made a move, it flopped, and things got squirrely, but you went right back to it. Now,
exactly.
step number 2,
Yeah.
like you used to tell me, you said, man, if you had a gregarious nature, Justin, you would be dangerous. It's like if I was
Yeah.
outgoing, it's like if I kind of behave like that, and I gotta tell you, man, if you had a little less or a little more, I'd say secrecy, but make close to the chest. You are an open book, dude. You're straight open book.
I absolutely get that, but I also feel like in my last job, once I figured out, like, if you have more salesmen than you have
Yeah, you got a
technicians,
problem.
and you're doing state
Yeah.
jobs, like
Yeah.
government contracts, like, I gave them 90 days,
Dude,
you
it was
know?
a bad fit. Like, and
Yeah.
that happens all the time.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, I could have done the snaky thing of been like, well, I'm going to let them pay me for another month while I'm already mentally checked out
What's
and
that
looking
called?
for another job.
Quietly quitting or something like that.
Quiet quitting,
One of the
yeah.
new catchwords.
But that's not the kind of guy I am. I'm decisive.
I respect that.
Like,
I do respect that.
If you've offended me as a man and as a professional, I'm
Six
going to
guns
go ahead
blazing.
and be like, hey man, you have offended me as a man and as a
I
professional.
challenge you to a duel. Slap.
Come get your fucking van, is what you say.
Right.
Like,
right. It's tough to find a fit, man. It is. You love the place you're at.
One.
You're at. It's where you ought to be.
It works for me. Like, and like, I don't even know that it does, because quite frankly, if I was back in Concord, like, I'd have socialization and friends, and even when I was broke, I could still go to the bar, and is that really helping?
Yeah. Nah.
I talked to Jason Morgan last night for like a good hour. He's still coming up next month for Wu-Tang and whatnot, and I'm looking forward to that. He's gonna be here for a few days. It's gonna be cool.
Hell yeah. You need some people around for sure.
Yeah, man. Like, we're gonna do all the shit I wouldn't do on my own. We're gonna go see a concert at Boston Garden.
Man, I bet you got some
catch a
dope
Red Sox game the next day.
I bet you got some dope museums up there. I bet you have some really cool.
We have all the dope museums up here, man.
Like art galleries. Like how cool would that be?
It's like fucked up. Like, if you came up for a weekend, we'd park your car in front of right in front of my house, and then you and I would take the train to all the cool shit all weekend, and it would cost like $20 for the whole weekend.
Does it go to the airport?
It goes, yeah.
The train goes to the airport, so I can fucking fly.
I live in Revere, so the airport's actually on my train route. I wouldn't even have to pick you up in a car. I could just pick you up on the train and be like, let's go, bruh.
That actually sounds fun. That does sound fun.
But from Beachmont, which is the last stop, to my house, there's a bus in between the train and my house. But it's like a 5-minute bus, and like it's proper.
Sure, it's nothing. Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
My favorite is the Red Line, because there's 3 stops in a row on the Red Line where it's like Mass General Hospital, aka MGH, and then Harvard, and then MIT. So, like, even when I'm in full, I'm going to get a job regalia, I'm not even the guy in the sharpest dress clothes on the train. It's funny. I'm like, good times.
I believe you. Seattle had a monorail that went through the city, like elevated.
I wish we had a monorail.
Dude, it was so cool because it like leaned, and the view. I have the video of it. There's some future stuff.
Yeah, really. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, Seattle has that shit because, like, they built that shit late, whereas Boston's like, this is the first subway in the country, and it shows.
Saw a lot of that in Seattle. Yeah, old architecture, some stuff falling apart. A lot of ritzy, a lot of homeless. The homeless were really interesting. It's like they really did have personalities.
I gotta tell you, like, a lot of our homeless have disappeared, and it makes me nervous. Like, what the fuck did you do with all those people? Because, like, they were here when I got here, and now 4 years later, they're not here so much. Where did they go?
Maybe they got their shit together, man. Let's be optimistic.
It's entirely possible that, like, Boston figured that shit out, but it's way more likely that Boston disappeared them.
Disappeared. Like,
Yeah.
put somewhere as to not be seen.
Like, put them on buses and shipped them to Charlotte or some shit. Like,
right.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
You really don't.
When I thought I might be homeless, like, a month ago, I was like, hey, I need to get my ass back to Charlotte.
Man,
if I'm going to be homeless, it needs to be somewhere warm. Like,
yeah, it's got that humidity going on, like the humid stank.
Yeah, you'll get malaria. Like, you can't be homeless in Charlotte. You get malaria.
You can be weathered to it.
Yeah.
You get used to it. But now your situation made me think about solid plan B. Because basically we're adults and we should be more responsible than we are.
Well,
I feel that way. I
get that, but at the same time, like, resume, motherfucker. And, like, when you live in the Northeast and you throw your resume on Indeed and you're like, hey, I do low voltage light safety.
It's the same thing here, man. Like, you get hounded.
Feeding frenzy.
It is, especially if you've got, like you said, experience. So.
I had firms talking shit on one another. Like, it's insane. It's like...
Well, the key is you grab something, you start Tuesday, you said?
Yep. And
Hell yeah.
I'll be whipped back up and good to go. And
what's your first deployment? Are you shadowing, learning how they do things? What's your onboarding process?
I have no idea. I've already filled out 3/4 of the paperwork. Everything that wasn't like, hey, print this out, sign it, and scan it, and then send it back to us. I hit up the project manager that I interviewed with and was like, hey, Andy, nah. Can I do... I've done everything else. Can I do this in office? And he was like, yeah, man. Like, we'll see you Tuesday morning. It's fine. Like...
So then you're going to get the feel of it.
Yeah, and I've already been... Like, I know what this is.
Right.
Like, I've done it. I've seen it. Like, it was really weird because on my final interview there, they went in and had me talk to Andy, who's the operations manager, and he's like, I'm a black guy with no accent, and I grew up poorer than you can imagine. And I'm like, I don't know, I can imagine pretty poor. And he's like, what, the very first time I ever got a paycheck, I bought an encyclopedia. And I'm like, wow, look at you, man. I read War and Peace in jail. Like,
yeah, right. Like, I've got more street cred than you, and I'm asking you for a job.
I'm like, listen, sir, I am blacker than you are. How do you
easy.
want to go?
Easy.
I know. Like, oh, it's funny. I'm just happy to work at a company based out of Massachusetts where there's a black guy in a management position. I'm like, this is nice.
I think we just had to let go. We had one, and I think he just got let go because there's some just hardcore clock.
Hardcore what now?
Clock writing, chilling, straight up chilling. Hang out
blow
in the van, all of it.
No, you can't do that. You blow up the labor cost.
That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened.
And that's different from the guy who bid the job didn't take into account how high the ceilings were.
Dude, the guy Carlos is having such a hard time finding anybody to work with him. No. You two would be a clash because, like, underneath he would try to browbeat. He's got a lot of faces, so he's not.
Yo.
I guess by being the culture he is, growing up in New York, he's got a lot of different faces that he puts on, and if he catches you crossing faces, he gets a weird thing. He complains about going to job sites and the GC approaches him like he's stealing stuff. I mean, you just have to sign in when you go to job sites. Like, that's everybody.
You absolutely do.
It wouldn't matter if you were fuchsia.
His name is Carlos, right?
That's right. He's Dominican.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I walk in a polo shirt and PPE and I'm like, Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm here
Right,
to assess
right.
this job
Yeah,
site.
but
Then, with a clipboard, people
Carlos is
won't give you a
Carlos
second look.
Carlos
But
is polished, so it's like he's got
yeah,
mad, fantastic grammar, English real high, Excel, all the programs we use, but he
yeah,
uses that with arrogance, and he doesn't know. He's never been in the field, so he doesn't know a lot of his stuff. But Josh, being Josh, he wants to put somebody in there and just take his hands off, so he doesn't have to do any work.
of course, yeah.
So he put this guy in there, and it's been 2 years. But man, this guy cannot find any help because, like, he'll say something shitty to him, and they'll just leave the next day, no notice. He had two people do that.
Man,
He's an asshole underneath, and the two of you
the one
together.
time they gave me a guy, I was so good to that kid.
You
Like,
talking
I
about
taught
Zach?
him the trade.
Yeah,
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 Zach and I got on like gangbusters. It was
yeah.
awesome. I like
It's
taught him
weird
how to
being.
do a thing.
Look, man, it's weird being inside. It's like
Yeah,
there are these social fucking threads going on between
yeah,
people. It's like
yeah.
I can't be bothered, man.
Mm.
There's real things going on in the world, you know.
For real, Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
I have no time.
Yeah.
It's like y'all want to talk to me about politics and geopolitics
Anything,
and whatever the fuck,
dude.
and they're like,
Even their
no,
personal
just
life,
don't.
even their personal
Yeah.
life. There's so much posturing and shit talking on other people. But you and Carlos are both at a level of intellect and, forgive my phrasing, but like bullshittery. You have the art for
Yeah.
it, to where it's kind of a dance, squeaky clean with some of your language.
Well, there is a Yankee quality. There's
Yeah,
like this
there is proper.
northeastern like
Yeah, yeah.
we'll bust chops but be having a good time, but be arrogant, but be confident. You know,
Right,
like
which would be
there's
great if he was the
it's a
man,
whole thing.
but he's not. So he's like
Ah, that's unfortunate.
makes a
Hold
lot of
on just a
mistakes.
second.
Anyway,
Alexa, stop.
started playing Unfortunate Son
No,
by
I'm making
Credence.
some food. Oh, you did.
No, your Alexa did.
It's not quite, but yeah, no, it's close. No, that's
Bow
not
down,
unfortunate. So.
bow down, bow down, bow down. Somebody's mom. Dude, it would be
Yeah.
the shit to have you back in that and with Clash, but here's what I was thinking, like, all right, plan B. You hit a brick wall. It's like you got the world on your nutsack. So it's like my life's about to fall
Same
apart.
as it ever was.
Yeah.
Why is
It's
your
not
life
cool.
about to fall apart?
No,
What are you talking about?
I'm saying like
Oh,
in the general sense.
oh
So it's
man,
like
my life's been falling apart since the day you met me. That's old
it has.
hat. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't even affect me anymore.
It shouldn't be cool with it, man. Like I don't think that's cool anymore. I think that went away in the '90s, and
It
we
might
didn't
not be, but
progress.
like my resume is strong, and I still have good recommendations, recent.
You care about the work, like
And
you
I care
absolutely.
about the work.
You care about
Yeah.
the work. You do.
So
That's
it's like,
as long as you
like
stay employed, you'll stay afloat. But
yeah,
neither of
I
us will
wish
ever
it hadn't
thrive.
taken so long for me to get onboarded. Bullshit, I'll never thrive, dude. I'm gonna be making over 70 grand fucking without prevailing wage and overtime next year.
And maybe I'm
And
speaking for myself.
this year in general, like I'll clear 80K, and like that's
But we
nice.
you don't have any of it banked, and we have to pawn our stuff, and we hit a brick wall.
Oh, yeah, but what's the point? Like, part of like pawning my stuff was like, I spent good money on professional gear to build a rig, and I used that rig to make a bunch of stuff. And then when I needed to liquidate it, I wasn't making anything with it at that moment anyway, so it was worth liquidating. And when I rebuild it, and there was a difference between what I pawned and what I sold.
Yeah, I'm aware.
You know?
I'm aware. So
And
like,
like,
what
when
can you?
when I rebuild, I can rebuild. Like there are things that I spend money on that I'm like, I wish I hadn't.
Yeah,
And like,
I got a little
I'm,
stack of them. Yeah.
like I'm not gonna get a Moog and
Nah.
release his controller next time around. I'm gonna get a Microcork Mark II.
Those look cool. Yeah, those look really cool. I've been looking at the Mini Freak. That little thing is weird. A lot of
Yeah.
'80s sounds. Arturia.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's who was making the controller for my Moog.
Hell yeah. So like, what is savable? You have the Model 12.
No,
Pawned or sold?
no, I just sold that, but I got
Sold.
really good.
Ah,
I got like $400 for it though.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
only a $600 machine. I'll have
that's
that.
true.
Like, and I'll also be buying in a different order this time because
Yeah, because now
step
you know.
one, get the Akai back. Step two, get the Tascam back. And then
Yeah.
when it comes to
Hey, there's a
drum
new. I
machine
think
and
there's a new update
synthesizer, I'm
for the
getting different
MPC.
gear.
Yeah.
I don't want the new update.
3.0. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's we're at like 3.5 now.
I see the YouTubers. I don't know why it's in my feed. I respect
Because
that side of the
you
tracks.
rock Native Instrument stuff,
Uh, yeah,
and they're
maybe.
desperately trying to make us all cross over and be homogenous. And I'm like,
It's
just let us enjoy our differences.
yeah,
Like, let us combine these two things independently without
dude.
making them both the same
I
thing.
I changed up my layout and I now treat machine probably more like you would treat the Akai. So
Hmm.
I have mixer. It's only got two inputs, but I have
Yeah.
these parallel mixers that were meant for the guitar pedals, but I ended up chaining them differently. So I have these parallel mixers feeding into the machine, and everything is instantly, perfectly sampleable,
Sampleable.
sampleable. So you can sample anything.
Hmm.
The feed is exactly right. The EQ, I've got four inputs channeling into one on that side of the board, you know?
Righteous. Yeah.
And all I have to do is push a button, and I can straight live record to the Tascam,
That's what's up. Yeah.
or you can MIDI it and quantize, you know?
You know, that's actually part of why I'm like, I don't want the Behringer 909 model. The smaller Roland Boutique TR-06 was actually better, is because I can chop my shit down. So
That's
I
something
was
I would like to
running
learn.
3 outputs out of the Behringer to make it all work,
You're doing a kick, a
whereas
snare, and hi-hat.
well, it was a kick, snare, and then every other instrument on the kick,
Gotcha.
or on the kit, so I could independently put compression and effects
Sure. On
on
the
the kick
individuals.
and the snare,
10-4. Gotcha.
and then use the onboard Tascam effects to stereo out the mono signal coming out of the rest of the drum kit because it's all mono at that point.
Right.
If I'm rocking the TR-06, I'm coming out in stereo. The TR-06 has its own compression for the kick and snare and has its own like delay, reverb, and like distortion
So you
sounds
don't have
on
to eat up
board.
those channels on your mixer.
I can cut it down from 3 channels to using 7, 8
Two.
and running it as a stereo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, I was watching
And
YouTube.
it's more user friendly.
This guy I found, he's going through Reason, modern Reason, like whatever the latest and greatest is.
I think it's
And-
13.
Yeah, and like watching this guy and how he's explaining things, he breaks the DAW down for you with perfection, and I totally see what you saw in that for so many years. So it's like I see the slight differences from something like Cakewalk.
If you're poor, Reason is hardware.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
if you could just tell the software, "Hey, I need another drum machine."
Let me
And
sound
they're
like a
"Cool, we
microcore.
got one."
Yeah, let me
And
sound like a prophet, you know?
And you don't even have to talk to George from Sweetwater to make it happen. Come on,
Fucking
man.
George. My guy's Louis.
Dude, George is gonna be freaked out here in a month where I'm like, "Hey, man, remember all that shit I bought from you? We're doing it again. Bring it back up, motherfucker, but we're going different this time."
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Man, the hardtimes.net had a headline the other day that was goddamn hilarious. That was like, sparsely populated funeral attended
Yeah, I
by,
saw that. I saw that. By the Sweetwater guy.
rep.
It's so
Yeah.
perfect. Ah, so perfect.
Yep. Oh, man.
So anyway, rocking new job. Everything stabilizes. You get caught up. I'm trying to think of like a 6-month plan. So I have concrete goals and shit you're moving towards. So
Yeah.
we're pretty anomalous.
My 6-month plan right now is like, I'm gonna go slower rebuilding the rig than I
Mm.
did building it the first time,
Well,
and
let's
pay
think
off
about
some bills I
yeah.
neglected
Let's
on the last round.
think outside of music here, which is hard for me to. Like
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing in the world.
Well, I
It would.
figured out how to reaccumulate what I need to actually make it.
Mm.
So I can add the bells and whistles later, which I kind of did in reverse on the last go round.
Man, I think that a Kai and the Tascam. I think that's you have the universe right there
Yeah,
between those two
yeah.
things.
Those two things are kind of my bread and butter.
That's
The problem is I don't know how to like all of the drums I did on the Akai. Those aren't sequencer; they're finger drums
right.
looped in.
Right.
And I want to have the
So is it
TRO6
audio?
because
Is it an audio sample or is it a MIDI sample? So
a
your
little
finger
of
going in
both.
a little both, or it's like you're playing audio samples triggered by MIDI.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah.
can record, map your MIDI, manipulate anything you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
I
that
can
way.
sample another song, like take a song loop from like Pink Floyd or whatever, and then cut out the kick, the snare, cymbal sounds, build a drum kit
That's
out
really
of
cool.
that,
I
and
don't
then
have any
sample.
isolation. Yeah, I was watching some videos on Akai's new update. How they're basically putting in essentially the IR, like what a guitar. What's popular now is people stealing other guitar amp sounds. So you
Mm,
capture the impulse response, and then you have that. So
mm,
there's something about the Akai to where you can sit with any instrument and basically do that. So it's like you can feed it an old piano, and then you have
mm.
that old piano forever in your box
Yeah,
by going through and mapping the scales, or mapping
but
each key.
like what the Akai is best at is not going through and skeletonizing another thing.
Who's
It's
skeletonizing?
like yeah, like grabbing every individual moment of sound and then reconstructing it.
No,
Like, yeah, it is
just the
cool
fact
for
that
that.
it'll auto like capture
It
the
will.
the
It
auto. Like
absolutely
that's
will.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than skeletonizing. But where were you going with the thought?
Well, when I first got the Moog Mavis, I was like, all right, how do I trigger the Moog Mavis off the Akai?
Mm.
And when I typed Moog Mavis and Akai into the thing, there was a guy with the exact same MPC key 37 I had in the Moog Mavis, and he's like, so what I did was I recorded one note, and now I just have it over here. And I'm like, that's not quite what I meant, bro. Like,
Mm.
no.
Machine has stuff like that where it's like there'll be kits with, all right, here's a guitar lick, and it's just a pad on
Mm,
your kit, and it's like that's if you were totally novice,
mm.
that would be excellent. You could just make up songs by pushing one button at a time.
I'd rather go steal one that I'm not supposed to steal and see if they catch me doing it.
Just for the notoriety. Yeah.
Well, just for like, um, everybody's using the same factory samples, and with the Akai, you can steal anything.
Yeah.
Like you just up and have it. Like you can
It's
grab
pretty
it, you
cool.
can gank it,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want with it, and like